Welcome to the Country Watch Political Intelligence Briefing Quick Hits, a weekly briefing of hot stories across the world in brief. I'm Denise Youngblood-Coleman, the Chief Editorial Officer and Senior International Affairs Analyst at Country Watch. This week I'm looking at the House Select Committee's probe into the January 6th attack on Capitol Hill in the United States. There were multiple testimonials given regarding former President Donald Trump's glee that his supporters wanted to hang his own Vice President, Mike Pence. There was testimony by Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide who worked in an office close to the Oval Office. She testified that Donald Trump became increasingly enraged and volatile about his 2020 re-election loss and was determined to join his supporters at the Capitol on the day that would turn into an attempted insurrection. Hutchinson also testified that Trump lunged for a Secret Service agent when he was taken back to the White House, instead of being allowed to go to the Capitol with his supporters who were attacking the seat of legislative power. There was testimony from Hutchinson that Trump didn't care that his supporters were armed and dangerous. In fact, he wanted weapons detectors removed to accommodate them and their weapons. Of significance were the shocking revelations from key witnesses from within the Trump inner circle about pardons sought for wrongdoing by several Trump supporters and Republicans. The bombshells included evidence of witness tampering, which is a felony, as well as a pattern of seditious conspiracy emanating from inside the Oval Office with Donald Trump as the locus. In essence, Donald Trump knowingly sent a metaphoric loaded pistol to the Capitol on January 6, 2021 to stop the certification process and thus stop the democratically elected President Joe Biden from assuming power. The fact of the matter was that the House Select Committee cannot bring criminal charges, despite the litany of acts of possible criminality offered through these hearings. It would be up to the Justice Department to determine whether anyone, including Donald Trump, should be charged with crimes and face prosecution. I'm also covering the European Commission, which has recommended EU status, that's European Union candidate status, for both Ukraine and Moldova. Also on my radar is the war in Ukraine and the strikes by Russia on a shopping mall and a humanitarian aid center. Neither could possibly be regarded as normal practices of war and instead could constitute war crimes. I'm also looking at Lithuania's overland shipment restrictions that will affect the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad. The Kaliningrad Oblast is the westernmost oblast in Russia, located on the Baltic Sea. It is bordered by Lithuania and Poland. At issue were European Union sanctions that went into effect on June 18, 2022, with Lithuania closing off the transport route for steel and other metals. In keeping with these EU sanctions, the effect on Kaliningrad was profound. Officials in Kaliningrad said that more than half of its enclave's imports were affected by the Lithuanian decision, which is characterized as a blockade, and Russia therefore threatens consequences. Vilnius was undeterred and rejected that accusation. At the end of World War II, Lithuania was reoccupied by Soviet forces and only regained its independence in 1990 with the collapse of the Soviet Union. In this way, Lithuania, like other Baltic states of Latvia and Estonia, was painfully aware of the history of Soviet encroachment into the Baltic territories in the past. Lithuania, along with the other Baltic states of Latvia and Estonia, would have clear cause for alarm regarding Russia. In mid-2015, Russia had questioned the recognition of the independence of the Baltic nations of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. The Office of Russia's chief prosecutor announced plans to examine the legitimacy of the former Soviet Union's 1991 recognition of the independence of the three Baltic states and to consider whether that action was actually legal. I'll include coverage of the upcoming election in Israel, the fifth in 3 years. Staying in the region, I'm also looking at the revived JCPOA talks, that is, the Iran nuclear deal negotiations, which has received some backing from a handful of Israeli intelligence officials. Subscribers can read more about these and other stories at the Country Watch website at www.countrywatch.com. I'd also like to take this time to mention my comprehensive Afghanistan withdrawal report called Sunset in the Graveyard of Empires, which is available for purchase at Amazon.com. Again, I'll say that it is available for purchase at Amazon.com. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, and remember, now more than ever, we live in an interconnected world.